What if I told you getting a body like this and this, one that's lean, that actually looks good, is super simple? All you have to do is remember this phrase. Building muscle is strength and protein. Losing fat is calories. It's so simple, I'm going to say it again. Building muscle is strength and protein. Losing fat is calories. More precisely, a calorie deficit. Don't let a crazy world tell you that it's about the macro ratio, it's about cutting out carbs, it's about cutting out fat. None of that shit matters right now. All you have to understand is that you need a calorie deficit. If you remember those two things, you have just understood the entirety of fitness in a minute. Now, you could literally turn off the video now, but your chances of achieving it are slim because simple, as we said, is not easy. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to tell you how to make the two things we just spoke about easier so you can get lean. So let's first of all look into the calories part, the losing fat part, because essentially that's what's going to get you lean. The first thing most people need is a strategy. You need to know, what is the number of calories I must eat to lose weight sustainably? This will be 200 to 400 calories below your calorie maintenance. And a calorie maintenance is something you can just type into Google and figure it out. For most guys watching this, it will be around 24 to 2800. So you take away 2 to 400 from that, your calorie deficit number is probably somewhere between 2000 and 2,400. Eat that every single day. But that's not really a strategy. That's just the broad strokes of what you need to achieve. You need a strategy to make this easy. And one strategy that I recommend for people that are trying to lose fat is intermittent fasting, or just eating fewer meals in a day. If you normally eat 4 meals, eat 3. If you normally eat 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, eat 2. Immediately when you eat less times, there's less chances for you to overeat and not have portion control, and therefore it's going to make it easier. That's the first thing. Incorporate some form of fasting. Next, wouldn't it be easier to achieve this calorie deficit if your calorie deficit number was so high? Like it was 3,000 calories. Then you could eat a burger, you could eat pizza, you have a couple beers and still lose weight. Now, you probably can't increase your maintenance calories to 3,000 very easily if you're an average kind of size dude and you're not a crazy athlete. But what you can do is build muscle in your body, do some resistance training to build muscle in your body, and go on walks as part of your daily routine. Those two things, working out and walking, will probably add anywhere between 400 to 600 calories to your daily caloric burn, which thereby increases your maintenance calories. Those two things will mean that you can eat the things you love and still be in a deficit. Walking and lifting at the same time, that's what's going to make the deficit easier. Next, wouldn't it be easier if you actually knew that what you were doing was moving you in the right direction? Because progress is what motivates people more than anything. So even if it's the smallest change, I always stress to everyone that I coach, you must track your weight. You must track your workouts so that you see your own progress when the mirror deceives you. And with this tracking, you will be able to see that you're progressing in the right direction, which will keep you doing the right things. And more importantly, it's going to fine-tune your idea of what a calorie deficit looks like, what a calorie deficit feels like, what a calorie deficit actually breaks down into in terms of your daily food choices. Nowadays, it's gotten to a point where I've measured calories and my weight and my steps so much that I can guess just by looking and feeling inside of my body every morning what the weight is going to be on the scale. And yesterday morning, when I did this, I said, you know what? It feels like my body weight's probably around 71.3. I stepped on and the number was 71.2. You develop this sensitivity to weight fluctuations just by feeling inside of your body and how you look. That's the level of attunement you want to have with your physique, the kind of foods you eat, and how that's making you feel. And that comes with tracking. Next, a lot of people struggle to stay in a deficit because literally it's a state wherein your body is lacking energy. It's using more energy than it's eating. So naturally, you're going to have these hunger waves. So if you can minimize that and in fact feel full most of the time, then that's going to help you stay in a calorie deficit. How do you do that? Two things. Number one is high protein and high fat meals tend to keep you more satiated than high carb meals. When you have a very carby meal, even though it's satiating in the moment, it's not going to keep you as full as when you have the same amount of calories in proteins and fats. So opt for higher protein, higher fat meals while respecting the calorie rule. That's the first thing. The next thing is, a lot of my clients say to me, hey, Wanhee, I follow all of this, but I still want to end the day with something sweet. I have this sweet craving at night. And so do I. What I've done recently is get some low-calorie ice cream where a whole tub of ice cream is literally like 300 calories, and you could be eating this. You could actually look at a bar of dark chocolate, 70% dark chocolate, and realize if I eat the whole bloody block, it's only 560 calories. It's only 440 calories, whatever the number may be. So actually looking at the caloric number allows you to incorporate these cheats, treats, chocolates, ice creams, brownies, whatever you want, and still have the peace of mind that you're heading in the right direction. One of the biggest things that throw people off and basically put them into this fuck it moment where they go into this downward spiral is a feeling of guilt, a feeling of I failed. And they get this when they have the sweet food, the chocolate, the brownie, the burger. They're like, oh, you know, I messed up. I had it. Who cares? You know, it's really hard. I'm going to just eat another burger. It's fucked anyway. Let me just destroy it. There's this innate desire to absolutely destroy your progress. And I call this the fuck it moment. And I actually dissect this exact psychology in some of my other videos. So go into that if you struggle from the fuck it moment. But by incorporating some of these bad foods into your diet by understanding their caloric content, you've not only got rid of the guilt, you've made it easier to stay in the deficit. Because what are you subconsciously signaling to yourself? Hey, I can eat all of these bad foods and still lose weight. And that's how I've done it. That's how I've got lean and maintained a lean body for the better part of 5 years now. Next, we're gonna now move on to the building muscle part. Because like I said, you could be in a calorie deficit, but you're still just gonna become more and more skinny. And this is why guys be getting skinny fat. This is why skinny guys can never change out of their physique, is they're losing weight. They're eating at a deficit or even at maintenance or surplus, but they're not doing the right kind of muscle training that builds muscle. It's really those two processes in conjunction that's gonna make you lean. It's the processes together that's gonna reveal the muscle. And so for the next part of the video, we're going to go into how do I make the building muscle part easy as well. Let's get into that. So the first thing we said building muscle was strength and protein. That's all you have to do. You got to get stronger and get enough protein. Let's actually get protein out of the way first, because that's the easier one. For most people watching this, 100 grams of protein per day is enough. And for women, I say 80 grams per day. Just start there. Now, I know a bunch of gym bros are about to scream, oh, it's 0.8 grams per pound of body weight. It's 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. Now, I've said this in many videos. If you try to do that from the get-go, as somebody that's not had high protein meals in the past, you're not only going to hate your diet, you're going to find that it's too expensive, it's disgusting to cook, and it's going to go up and down the whole time. What I always say in all of my videos, and in fact, this is a question you can ask yourself for everything related to fitness, is ask not what the science optimizers say, but what can I stay consistent with? Not what is scientifically optimal, but what can I stay consistent with over the long period? And 100 grams of protein is the first milestone that every guy must hit that's serious about building muscle. This is going to make you think about having protein with every meal. Then it's going to make you think about how can I get that without going over my calories. Then it's going to make you think about protein shakes, which is one of the best ways to increase protein without adding the calories. Most importantly, it's going to be that number that is so simple for you to calculate and get over that you're going to build some consistency with it. Once you get that, then you can raise to 120, 140, 160, what have you. But start there and add protein shakes if you have to, and that's what's going to make the protein side easier. Next, now that protein's out the way, let's talk about the actual building muscle part. If you're getting enough protein, the only thing that's left we got to tackle is the strength part. You have to get stronger. You've never seen a guy with an incredible physique not be able to do pull-ups, chin-ups, push-ups, rows, bench presses. Even if they're doing calisthenics, you can tell that they're pretty strong. If you look at a gorilla with all these muscles, he's pretty damn strong as well. So that's one of the things you gotta nail, is you gotta get stronger. And in fact, I'll give you a good metric. You have to get unreasonably strong for your body weight. If we put you and another guy, just average dudes lined up, you could have the same weight, but you gotta be stronger. Your biceps, your pulling strength, your pushing strength, your jumping strength, your running strength, all of those have to be a little bit higher. And that's the goal. Even if it's not there right now, we have to build it. What would make this easier is if you had a structured training routine and a training system that would make you stronger over time. Now, the technical term for this is progressive overload. You have to progressively overload the muscles with more weight, more reps, more time under tension, or more range of motion. And with these four variables, you could focus on the weight and the reps to start. And as you get more advanced, really focus on the other two, range of motion and time under tension. And as you progressively get these better and better, that's how you build strength. Now, in order to build an aesthetic body, one that is V-tapered, one that actually looks really good, in clothes and on the beach. You gotta target the right muscle. And if you want my system to do that, my training system, Aesthetic Body Blueprint, is down below. 3 times a week. You can stay consistent with it super easily. So if you just want a shortcut and you just want a system that you can follow that's super simple, go get that. Essentially, to build muscle, you need a training system that makes building strength not only the priority, but makes it simple. Next, the final thing is, of course, consistency. I always talk about this, and I'll die on this hill. You're only as good as what you can stay consistent with. Even these guys that have built a respectable physique for 1 summer, 2 summers, and then they get kind of chubby, what good is that? That's not what it's about. You want to be able to build something and sustain it. That's how it truly becomes yours. So in order to make what's really simple easy, you need to make consistency easy as well. And I'm just going to give you a few pointers that are going to make staying consistent with your training easy as hell. Number 1, don't do too much. I always want to do more, but I don't. I stop myself. So I only train 3 times a week. I only do 5 exercises. I only do 6 to 10 reps. I only do 2 sets sometimes. I'm deliberately minimalizing, reducing the quantity, but increasing the intensity to make up for the reduced volume. So you increase the weight, focus on getting stronger, and you reduce the overall volume. And that's how you make your training more sustainable and more consistent, because you're not burning out all the time. Another thing that I like is to have a rest day between training days. So if you have that rest day, it just gives you that room to miss the next training session. If you're texting a girl that you like, and maybe you're in love, you text every day, it's fine, but it gets boring. You gotta leave a day in between. You gotta leave room for her to miss you. And it's the same with the training. You gotta leave a room for yourself to miss the training. And that actually is the hack to consistency, because we're now not talking about, oh, do I have the discipline to go? We're talking about, oh my God, I'm looking forward to training. I can't wait to go. I can't wait for it to be tomorrow so I can go. And I literally felt that today when I stepped out. If you want to build that unbreakable consistency with me, guiding you through my training system so you can build muscle, lose fat in the simplest, easiest way, and keep it, then you can apply to join my coaching program below, where I'll do the process with you and help you, just like I help these guys do the same. Lose fat, build muscle, and most importantly, keep the results that they have. That sounds like what you want. Don't hesitate to apply for coaching below. And with that said, I'll see you next week.